AI 모델 이제 나왔거든요. 근데 생각보다 만족할 만한 결과가 있어서 퍼포먼스가 좋더라고요. 그래서 기분이 되게 좋았는데 한편으로 아이고 이제 앞으로 해야 될 일들이 정말 태산같이 더 많아졌다라고 생각을 하니까 기분이 좋으면서도 좀 걱정이 되더라고요. 그래서 앞으로 타임 매니지먼트를 아주 내가 잘하지 않으면 힘들겠다라는 생각을 했어요. 그리고 또 내일 저는 새로운 일을 시작을 해요. 아니 창업하는 사람이 무슨 다른 일을 하냐고 물어보실 수 있겠는데 사실은 한 1년 반 정도 전부터 이제 계속 이제 캐시가 없어지기 시작하면서 돈이 막 떨어지는 거예요. 직장을 잡아야 될 그런 아주 위험한 단계까지 왔는데 제가 열심히 직장을 찾았거든요. 근데 제가 제 창업을 하고 있다는 거를 속이고 싶지가 않았어요. 그리고 사실 엔터프리너 한 사람들을 회사에서 원하는 경우가 많거든요. 저는 그걸 믿고 나 같은 사람을 누군가 원하겠지라고 생각을 했는데 일단 너무너무 아무도 안 원했고요. 이 사람들이 인터뷰조차 하기 원하지 않았던 이유는 당연히 이 사람은 이런 경험이 있어도 지금 자기가 하고 있는 일이 따로 있으니까 우리한테는 그렇게 많은 일을 열심히 하지 않겠지라고 생각할 수 있을 것 같아요. 근데 참 신기한 게 그렇게 열심히 일을 이렇게 어플리케이션을 내고 그랬음에도 불구하고 아무도 저를 원하는 회사가 없었는데 사람 일이 참 희한하죠. 일이 잘 되려니까 이 회사는 제가 일하는 것 자체를 굉장히 좋아하는 그런 이상한 일이 있어가지고 저는 너무너무 그게 감사하더라고요. 그래가지고 저는 내일부터 또 일주일에 한 25시간 정도는 그 회사를 위해서 쓰는데 거기서 저는 컨설턴트 일을 맡게 됐어요. 그러니까 일 자체도 재밌을 것 같고 새로운 것이기 때문에 또 저같이 새로운 거 도전하는 거 좋아하는 사람한테도 맡고 또 제가 일부러 내가 지금 피보디오를 하는 거를 거짓말 하지 않아도 되고 너무나 전체적으로 퍼펙트 시츄에이션이 된 거죠. 제가 인터뷰를 하게 되는데 이 회사는 뉴스레터식으로 하기 때문에 일단 이거 녹화된 영상은 이 사람들이 보여주지는 않아요. 그 사람들 사이트에서. 근데 그래서 제가 그냥 카피를 좀 달라고 해가지고 제가 그냥 쉐어하고 싶어가지고 받았는데 이게 edtech mentor series라고 이제 educational tech 하는 그런 CEO나 파운더들을 이제 인터뷰를 해가지고 멘tor 시리즈 해가지고 그 사람들을 인터뷰하는 거를 이제 올리는데 일단 그 회사 자체가 되게 그 UI를 되게 잘 해놨어요. 그래서 되게 이뻐요, 디자인이. 그래가지고 거기에 또 제가 나오게 됐거든요. 제가 이제까지 그래도 팟캐스트 인터뷰를 몇 개를 했는데 그 중에선 제일 좀 여기에 내 얼굴이 있으면 얼마나 좋을까라고 좀 꿈꿔왔던 그런 중에 하나거든요. 제 회사 그 웹사이트에도 이제 쉐어를 할 건데 먼저 여기서 이제 제 채널에서는 그냥 좀 제 채널하고 좀 관계 있는 릴레이터블한 그런 토픽 그런 세그먼만 좀 잘라가지고 같이 좀 쉐어할까 해요. 그래서 그거 자랑하고 싶어서 오늘 이제 영상을 틀었고요. 인터뷰 영상 잘 보시고요. 또 다음번에 찾아볼게요.
My greatest achievement is recruiting over 100 world-class experts. And it was just amazing. I mean, they joined in a heartbeat and they all said they wished they had this kind of guidance when they were younger. So it really validated what we're trying to build here, right? And as for mistakes, I mean, where do I begin? I mean, I have plenty, right?
Right.
I guess the major one is that I tend to get too caught up in building solutions. So I've learned the hard way that everything must start with a problem. So focusing on the problem is the key to solving it, and that's where everything starts. And I have to remember and remind myself ultimately it's the users who judge if the solution works or not. So my
Right.
job is to really focus on the problem. So I actually keep a little mental check. So I ask myself, like, am I falling in love with the problem or the solution? And it's from the great book by Uri Levin, Falling in Love with the Problem, Not the Solution. We are in a very, very early stage. So our biggest challenge is really about making the most of what we have right now. So our product is not fully developed the way we want it to be. So my main focus is to use what we have and create what I call initial happiness for our users when they experience Pivodio. And the goal is to do it as quickly and as clearly as we can, but it's not as simple as it sounds. So I have to focus on subtracting rather than adding to simplify their experiences. So I would say I admire every founder at every stage. They say 90% of startup fail, and with 75% dropping off at each round. So starting up takes courage, but surviving, that's a whole new level of resilience, right? So, I mean, there are those giant unicorn ad tech companies that I admire and everyone talks about, right? I think it's the everyday entrepreneurs who really stick in my mind. And these are the folks grinding it out, facing challenges head on, and often without the spotlight. And also, I have a huge respect for educational YouTubers and podcasters. And these people spend years creating and sharing knowledge when no one is watching and listening. And because it takes a long time to build their channels, right? So I think it's the real heroes are often the ones that you don't really hear about. So they are the ones that inspire me as I build Pivodio, because many of our coaches are educators or producers working behind the scenes. Great question. Thank you for throwing me the curveball. And so I would say, for me, especially for founding team, right? It is very simple. We have to like each other. It is very stressful environment, like founding the company and building out of nothing, building 0 to 1. It takes a lot of dedication and devotion, and it's a stressful work. And so if we don't have that chemistry together, and it's immediately going to affect our productivity. So what I really actually look for is like, do I like that person? And I think it's, maybe it sounds simple because, you know um, and or too basic, but I think it's just so important. You have to like that person, and everything else can be bought, right? All the skill sets can be bought, but if I don't like that person, and if there's like, I mean, it doesn't mean that that person is bad. That person might be a great person, but it's just like, are we really compatible? And I think that's really important.
Absolutely, and you just mentioned it. It might sound simple, but there are many things. When you like a person you work with, it is usually related to the values that you share, or it might be related to your work ethic. It might be related to the things you believe in, and what could be simplified as oversimplified as chemistry
Yeah.
could mean a lot more.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You were talking to bootstrapping startup who's broke as hell. So, when you say 100 million, it's it seems surreal for me, okay? One thing for sure is like I don't think I will spend too much on like paid advertisement, but more so with the positioning, brand positioning, and I'm trying to study brand positioning while I'm building Pivodio, and realize that it is a lot harder than I thought. And so I would really buy that expertise to really nail the brand positioning. And so that's the one thing. And the content marketing is also, everybody's doing content marketing, but, if you nailed it or not, that's the question that, we have to look at. So um, somebody who's really good at content marketing, and also setting up the right matrix, right? Or like, what is our all-time North Star matrix? And you really have to have comprehensive understanding of the particular brand to really set up that matrix. And I think that's really important too. Endless resources, getting marketing help. It's going to be fantastic, because our company especially really heavily rely on marketing. We're not a deep tech. We're not selling the technology in a way. We're selling the community and,
The community,
yeah,
right?
inspiration. So the marketing is really, really important. So I have two advice to 20-year-old me. Number one, don't give up on your music, and do what you love, and find a way through internal motivation. And trust me, Jamie, it's a lot easier than relying on external factors. Let your passion guide you. And the number two is, if you don't see yourself growing with a company or the relationship after 2 months, get out ASAP. Life is too short for stagnation. You might think that you're growing because you're maybe reading a lot of books, but you may be avoiding deeper answers by keeping yourself busy with learning. So spend more time learning within what you love, not just random things. That's what I will give to my 20-year-old.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.